Hey, everybody. So, if you've been watching the news the last week, then you surely have seen a ton of Republicans who are clutching their pearls over the idea that Dr. Fauci wrote something in his diary and then said something else publicly that didn't match up with his opinion of COVID. And when Brian Tyler Cohen here went on Katie Pavlich's show a couple of days ago, he had an amazing response when he was asked a similar question about Fauci having an opinion in his diary and then saying something different to the public.
I think the consequences were real either way. And so if you're going to be extra careful by taking more extreme measures to keep more people safe, I don't think that a once-in-a-generation pandemic is the time for everybody to have every single answer beforehand.
Yeah, so Brian points out how Dr. Fauci erred on the side of caution to protect Americans, but I want to juxtapose that with Donald Trump and what he knew about COVID as early as February of 2020. Listen to this phone call he had with Bob Woodward.
It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
So there you go. That is Trump on February 7th of 2020, understanding that COVID is deadly stuff. In his words, 5 times more deadly than the regular flu. But then cut to this press conference just 19 days later where he addresses the American people and over compares COVID directly to the regular flu.
It's a little like the regular flu that we have flu shots for. And we'll essentially have a flu shot for this in a fairly quick manner. Yeah, go ahead. But when I mentioned the flu, I said, actually, I asked the various doctors, I said, is this just like flu? Because people die from the flu. And this is very unusual. And it is a little bit different, but in some ways it's easier, and in some ways it's a little bit tougher.
And let's not forget the 13 times between February of 2020 and April of 2020 that Trump lied and said that the coronavirus would just magically go away. So if you ask me who I'm more angry with, I'm more angry at the guy who admittedly downplayed COVID as it spread through the country and ultimately killed more than 1 million people than the guy who might have said something in his diary, but then publicly said something that would try to save American lives.